What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Lucas Live. It is year 6, season 6. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. I have a special guest live in the building. We're in our brand new studio. I have a Michael Jordan poster hanging behind me, my favorite player of all times. I didn't say he was the best player of all times. I said he's my favorite because I grew up watching him. Shout out to LeBron, who I have to argue might be the greatest, but we can have that debate on another day. Michael Jordan inspired me. I said, whatever I want to do in life, I want to do it like Michael Jordan. I want to be the best at it. So I'm excited today. And I kind of got some tape on my poster. Don't judge it because I just hung it up. You know what I mean? It's the first day of a new show and you're finalizing some things. So that's what happened there. But welcome to the live broadcast. If you're watching live or by replay, if you're on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever you're coming from, my name is Lucas Tyndale, aka Lucas Live, and I'm excited to be here with you guys today. Again, my guest today is Krista L. Allison, here running for the 49th District House of Representatives seat in the state of Ohio. I hope I said that all right. She believes that she is in this for all people. And we're going to learn about that today. What does that actually mean? We're going to ask her some questions. We're going to learn how national politics impact local politics and how local politics impact national politics. Like, why does it matter? Many people only vote in national elections because we're like, I don't know what any of this means. I don't know that any of this matters, but it does. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about why she got into this. She's had a successful career. She's done a lot, has a great family, raised wonderful children, has a wonderful husband. Why get into something that can be so complicated? We're going to find out today, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm excited. I want to welcome you guys into the show. Say hello if you guys come into the chat. Whether you're watching live or by replay, let us know you're here. If you're watching by replay, type replay in the comments so we know you're one of our replay viewers. We appreciate all of you. We also have a wonderful lineup coming the rest of the week. Tomorrow, we have Reverend Dr. Arrington from People's Baptist Church celebrating 40 years as the pastor of People's Baptist Church. That is an amazing accomplishment. We're going to have him here live in studio tomorrow. Then on Wednesday, we're going to have my good friend Mike Sturdivant of Rock Island. He's going to be here. He does marketing. He does coffee. He does it all. Mike's a great guy, and I'm excited that he will be here in the building. Then on Thursday, we have your host, Danny, my co-host, the host around the city, doing so many wonderful things. We're going to talk to her about our collaboration and all the things we do. We're going to talk to her about the things that she's doing and her business, the True Body Company, and all the things that go into her becoming the person she is today, doing so many amazing things. I get a front row seat, but I want to bring her on and ask her some questions because she doesn't always get to answer questions. But on Thursday, she will. Then on Friday, we have Shahidra Strong of Strong Family Wellness, who will be here with us in the building. Yes, this week we're kicking it off with 5 days of shows. I'm going to be tired. I'll be tired, right? But I'm excited about it. You guys remember when I started Lucas Live, it was a daily show. I did it every day for months. I mean, I did 100 shows in 6 months because I did it every day. Now, we were in a little bit of a pandemic, and I was going through a little bit of grief, and I was grieving the loss of my mom, and God said, go live, go live. Show the world who you are. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. Don't worry about the mistakes. And you'll have to overcome some things to be successful at this, but we're going to do it together. And God has been faithful, as God always is. So I thank God for this opportunity to continue to bring you Lucas Live Media, Chatting Live, our other shows, and all the things we help produce in this city, in this county, and around the world. It's my absolute pleasure. So I'm excited to be here with you guys. We're going to have a real conversation this morning. Good morning, Kareem Marie. My beautiful wife is in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. When I started my first show, my first year, the only person in the comments was my wife. She was like, hey, babe. I was like, hey. She said, it's just me. I was like, yeah, we just FaceTiming basically, right? But I appreciate her so much. Shout out to her and Inner Word Media and everything she's doing with the bookmark. If you guys have not gotten your viral bookmark and your book cover, what are you doing? Make sure you follow her at Love Kareem Marie on all social media platforms. I also have our new theme song playing. I hope you guys enjoy that. I hope you can hear it. I played it in a video yesterday. It might have been a little loud, but I got it playing in the background now. We're going to jump into it. Again, say hello in the comments if you guys are here. We're going to jump in with our guest here now, Miss Krista L. Allison is in the building with us. Good morning, Krista. How are you today?
Good morning. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. You are my first guest in the new studio.
I love it.
I'm excited to have you here.
Yeah.
Anytime you're starting something and you know it because you're into new things and you're always doing things. And although I've done it before, it's a challenge, you know?
I know, but I love what you did with the place here.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're working it out. That's okay. Because you know what? How you started, which was through prayer
Yes.
and being faithful, God has us and He has you. So, and I feel like we need to pray online. And I'm just praying that God will just continue to strengthen you, give you what you need, and just have you walk faithful, because this is a faith walk. And others are looking at it, and you're going to have a testimony, and you already have a testimony.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Amen.
you. Thank you. Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Krista.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. And I think you're right. I certainly know. I mean, I built Lucas Live Media from this show out of grief, you know, and a lot of times we're going through grief, and it's easier to shut down than to put ourselves out there. And that's what my mom would have wanted me to do. So shout out to Vivian Rosetta Tyndale, forever and always. She's the reason for this. And I'm excited about it. Again, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you share this broadcast, whether you're watching live or by replay. Share this broadcast so somebody else can come in and watch it, whether you're on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching from. We appreciate it. So, Krista, we're going to jump into it today.
Yes.
You are running for the 49th District, Ohio State House of Representatives. What is that? I mean, a lot of us don't even understand. Like, we know there's a House of Representatives nationally, but we don't understand that there is one in the state of Ohio. What exactly is that, and what is the function of a House of Representatives in a state?
So I'm going to take everybody back. If you remember, and I feel like we're dating ourselves here a little bit.
Yeah.
Remember Schoolhouse Rocks?
Oh, yeah.
All right. And the whole song, I'm just a bill and I'm only a bill, that song. So think about Schoolhouse Rocks. Now, I'm not going to sing to you this morning, because I'm not going to break that down this morning for all of y'all. But I do well in the car when I sing.
Okay, I'm a shower singer.
Yeah,
I
do too. In my car shower,
listen,
I'm great.
I am American Idol talent.
Yeah,
if you
I
catch
could
me
do
in the shower.
I could do that.
Okay, yes.
I could do that.
Yes.
But when you think about the House of Representatives at a national level, and then you take that snapshot and you put it at a state level, it's a similar piece. So in Ohio, we have our House of Representatives. That's our government body. So we have our House of Representatives, and then we also have our Senate. And then we have obviously our governor, and that comprises our government system. And then you also then go down to your county level, you go to your city level, your local level. But when you're thinking about this, we do have a mirror image of this somewhat at a national level. But to your question, and to probably many people's questions, is well, what does a legislator do? And that's where the Schoolhouse Rock thing comes in. Because legislators, I feel like we need an undertone of a song.
Right.
But legislators basically are advocates. They serve as those advocates for their city, their district, their local. They advocate and they bring information from that local level to the Columbus level. And they serve as that middle person, that communicator with our local, our district, all the way to Columbus. Basically, when you think about information flowing to Columbus, flowing back here to the 49th, that's how that works. And then that information is then ultimately transposed, and it goes to the Senate, it goes to the governor when we're working on bills and legislation. And then it also goes to the respective departments, whether it's the Department of Education and Workforce, the Department of Health, whatever those agencies are, which are part of the governor's cabinet. That's how that system works. Now, the connection to that, to a national level, is that legislator would be actually also a middle person with who's serving at the national level as well, that House of Representatives. So that congressperson, that congressman. So in this instance, that's what we would be looking at. And so in many respects, it's that middle person going back to your local level. It's that middle person going back to the national level, and really being in that position to be a communicator, that person that would represent, that person who advocates. That's what that legislator stands for. And a lot of times people think that, well, it only matters at a national level.
Yeah.
So not true.
Not true.
Not true at all.
Okay.
It matters the person who's representing you at a local level, because the reality is things start at home first.
Yeah.
And taking care of home really matters, and knowing who represents you, who's carrying your interests, who's speaking on your behalf, that is so important. And if we don't know that, and if we don't have those relationships created, then that's a problem.
That's very well said. And I think a lot of times we really don't know. And I mean, myself included, I mean, politics is such a complicated thing. Politics is so complicated.
But it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be for us. But it is. I get it.
I mean, yeah.
And
I think it's a lot of times it's purely, number one, taking sides. I'm going to vote this way or that way, Democrat or Republican or whatever. And that's it. Gender can play a role, race can play a role. There's so many things that unfortunately play a role that shouldn't play a role in who's representing you,
Mhm.
right? So as a female in this space,
Mhm.
is it have we evolved in 2026? Are we in a good place and it's all the same? Or are we I have my opinion about it,
Yeah.
but are we still fighting some of those battles with showing up and being not showing up,
Yeah.
but being respected in those rooms and in those spaces?
Oh gosh. We still are working on that.
Okay, all right, it's a
Honestly, I
work in
mean,
progress.
you know
Yeah,
this. I mean, we all know this. We're still working on those spaces and places and making sure that we have representation and
yeah.
having representation from an equity standpoint. Those are still spaces that we are still fighting for. And I know a lot of times we might think, "Oh, well, we've already cleared that. We have already moved beyond that." But I have to tell everyone, and I think we all know it because we see it. We have not. We have not evolved in that.
Mm.
We continue to move forward. And just sometimes when we think we are making head ground,
Mhm.
we kind of slip back a little bit. There's a saying that I love, and it is by Coretta Scott King. And she talks about this. And she had said at one point, the struggle for freedom is won and lost in every generation.
Mm.
And what that means to me personally is that we have to continue to fight for freedom. We have to continue to fight for equality. We have to continue to fight for those who can't fight for themselves. We have to continue to put that stake in the ground each and every day. And we cannot rest and think that it was already won because it's a battle each and every day. And so that's how I enter the arena.
That's fascinating, and it is interesting that we are still at that place and space where we're still fighting for things, and maybe
Mhm.
that's the nature of people. Now, you're a person of faith,
Yep.
and that's two complicated things. We're talking faith and politics. That's the stuff you don't talk about at Thanksgiving. You're like, nobody bring it up because it's gonna be a problem with the
Yeah.
in-laws or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but you don't hide that. I always find that interesting because I
Mhm.
think a lot of people, you know, if you look up someone's faith as a politician, especially in the national level, you can usually find something Catholic, Christian,
Mhm.
whatever, right?
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean they're ever sharing it or talking about it,
Mhm.
and it doesn't always mean that you feel that they're living it out.
Mhm.
So for you being coming in as a faith-based person from ground up, how do you think that plays into who you become as a politician? Because I think a lot of people start off with good intentions, and then
Mhm.
before they know it, they get in them toxic waters, and they got to do what they got to do what they got to do, and before you know it, it's like, who are you? So talk to us about how you feel. Is your faith going to ground you? Is it something up for grabs? What's up with that?
Well, it's definitely not up for grabs.
Okay,
So
all right. I didn't think so.
let's just go
Clear
right
that up.
there. Let's clear that up. That
Yes.
is my faith is foundation
Yes.
for who I am, and it always has been. I
Yes.
have to say, growing up, I was a PK kid. So many of
Uh-huh.
you might say, "What the heck is that?"
Right.
Preacher's kid.
Yes.
And a lot of times, I didn't. I mean, I gotta be honest. I was like, "Oh, I got to come in early," and then sometimes some of my friends be like, "Oh, you're the preacher's kid," and a lot of times I didn't always as a young kid take that so well because I
Right.
was like, but I want to be like everybody else. And I
Mm,
want to, and my parents would be like, but you're not, and you're
mm,
not going to be.
mm,
And you need to remember who you are and continue
mm.
to stand on who you are. And so I think as growing up, and now that I'm a little older, I really appreciate them continuing to ground that in me and to reinforce the fact that this is who you are and you have to stand on that. You have to stand firm on that. And that's how we raised our children, both my
Yes.
daughters, to say you have to know who you are and you have to stay grounded. And I'm so thankful to God because even though you're either going in a storm, you're coming out of a storm, or you're actually in the middle of the storm,
Mm,
I know that God has grounded me in all of those things.
love
And
that.
I know that He hears my prayers. And running for office, I don't take this lightly either because I know that I'm here on purpose for a reason. And everything that I've done has led me to this point. Whether when I was serving at the state level, at the Department of Education and Workforce, thinking, well,
Tell us about that real
what
quick.
happens there?
So I want you to don't lose your train of thought because I
Yeah,
will throw off a train of thought
yeah,
because
it's
I
okay.
jump in where I think.
Yeah,
So that I think that matters. You worked for the
the state of
state
Ohio.
of Ohio
I
already.
did,
That's
yes.
not so
Yeah.
going to a state position is not fully new to you. Talk to
Mm-mm.
us a little bit about that before you.
So working at a state position, I have to tell you that that was amazing in itself because you're thrown in these waters, and I was young, first of
Hmm.
all, and so I'm working with a lot of people who are a little older, and being a female, being a female of color,
Hmm.
that was just all different, but. I always tell people I cut my teeth there because that's when you learn a little bit about politics. You understand that things and happen at 11:59 is what I call it. Like when they're getting ready to they're passing legislation or they're in the process of negotiating new legislation, a lot of things get dumped in at like that 11:59 hour.
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden you have all these new laws and things. You go, what happened there? Or even getting public opinion. And when the legislative body says, okay, now we want you to write a policy. So then you have to gather public opinion. So being in that space, working with legislators, working with the governor's office, I have actually a great story about the governor's office, but
Uh-huh.
working in that space really gives you a perspective of how things move, how fast they move, how sometimes things are very slow,
Hmm.
and how when people advocate, sometimes those voices aren't heard, or sometimes the loudest voices are heard.
Mm.
And so you see some of those things that are happening. So I think that really gave me just a wonderful perspective, but it also created relationships
Right.
because what people know about me is I'm a relationship builder. And so I have a ton of phone numbers in my phone. I will keep your number forever. If you give me your number,
Right.
I will keep it. And then I'll go, wait, let's see if they're still there. And I will call. And so there are people even now that are at the state or in Columbus, we call it the 270 loop, basically,
Uh-huh.
who are there. When I need something, I will call and I
Awesome.
will find that person and say, okay, so this is what we're working on. Can you help me with this? And those relationships have really helped me over the years.
That's absolutely incredible. I've often heard that in politics, I mean, I think we all know it's a relationship, right?
Hmm.
It's in many areas of life, in business and jobs and careers, even in this, me being able to reach out to you and say, hey, what's up? Let's,
Hmm.
I'd love to have you on the show. It's like, of course, and became one of my first guests in season 6. And I always say a lot of people do want to come on the show, and I'm grateful for that. And there's people who I really want to talk to because I really want people to hear our goal is to bring people from the community to the stage, right? And
Yeah.
then people from the stage who are out there who we already have heard about back to the community so people can hear about, well, how did they get out there? How did they
Right.
get out of Canton or out of whatever their city is?
Hmm.
Don't mind my light. See, I have
See, I was going to stand up. This is what happens also. I understand this.
you
In our office, I have to stand up
does
and
that
wave.
happen?
Yeah, I have to stand up and wave my hands and
Listen,
turn around. So it's
listen. I'm
okay.
gonna
If
shout
you see
out.
me get up, I'll do that for you.
That is really funny because, okay, we're in our new studio. We're in the Kurt Schering Innovation Hub. Shout out to the Kurt Schering family and
Yes.
everything that he has done and had
Hmm.
done for all those years in politics and
I
other
know
ways.
he was great. I love his family. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're still making an
Hmm.
impact. And now in collaboration with Stark County Minority Business Association and
Hmm.
SCUMBA, we were able to get this beautiful space looking out over Centennial Plaza.
Hmm.
And we're so excited because we're going to do so many things. There are going to be concerts out there. And
This is great.
this is amazing.
It
I
is.
watched the sunrise someday. It's
Yes.
coming here and it's wonderful. The only thing is, we have this motion sensor light. Now I
Hmm.
got some studio lights, but then we got motion sensor lights, and they're gonna fix this for me. But until they do every day, I'm gonna talk about them. No, I'm just kidding. If they don't get the electrician here to get my lights together, so I'm not sitting here in the dark. But now they saw live.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
call your landlord, you be like, the lights go out, and they be
Yeah.
like, we're gonna work on it.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
But it is. But
That's
you know what? But just know today, I
yeah.
will get up and run around and get the lights back on
I
for you.
really,
So
I always
everyone, if you see me get up, that's just because I'm the motion
She's
detector
the motion
person.
detector protector.
Yes.
Okay, we needed a
Yes.
motion protector
That's what
protector.
I'm doing today.
Yes, let me jump over here, guys. When you guys see me go here, and Krista, you have a camera right here too.
Oh,
You
okay.
don't
Hi,
have to look at it
everybody.
directly,
Hi.
but yeah, let me show you. Let me go. Boom. See,
Look at
this is how they're
that.
seeing you. Look at
Oh,
that. It
look
looks
at
so
that. We're
beautiful.
doing it.
Look at
Oh, look
that
at
right
that. Thank you.
there.
Yeah.
Yep, we left the door open. I don't know why we did that, but it's again first episode. We're
That's okay.
doing it.
I can close it. You want me to
That's
close it?
yeah, we'll get it. It's
Okay.
okay. It's all right. It looks fine out there, I think. I want to say what's up to people here in the comments. Thank you guys who are watching. Again, my wife Kareem Marie, thank you for being here. My aunt Gloria. Thomas West is in the building. We'll have to be talking to him really soon.
Yeah.
What's going on? Marcus, he said every generation, every day. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Hmm.
There's something to do to your comment
Hmm.
earlier. Now, this is your team and your husband. I gotta tell you,
Yes.
your team is on it. Your husband texted me and we have your website wrong. And I'm over here trying to fix it while you're talking, by the way. I was
Oh.
trying to fix it. I'm gonna
Oh,
get it
this
together.
is my daughter.
This
Yeah.
is your daughter.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, she's
You got a
on
team.
it.
Your husband texted me,
He
but your daughter is on it too. Okay.
Okay. All right. Good
Your
deal.
people got your back. That's what
Okay.
you
That's
need.
all I got. That's all I need.
That's all you
Yeah.
need. You got
Hmm.
people who have your back. And she's it's Krista's daughter. Oh, I didn't even see that. I was trying
Yeah.
to type. Okay.
I'm looking at it. I was like, oh, okay.
Which daughter is this? Do you know?
This is the oldest daughter.
Okay,
Yep.
this is your
So she
oldest.
maintains the website. So this is good.
Okay,
Yeah.
she knows. We lost. It's Krista L, Allison. We don't have the L in there. I'm gonna try to fix
Mhm.
that before the show is over. We're gonna work on that. I was over here messing with my graphics thing while I had the other camera on you, and I'm trying to make it happen. But yes, so that is there. Thank you so much
That's
for
Avery. That's it.
Avery.
Mhm.
Avery, what's up, Avery?
Mhm.
You do you remember that you guys had the first official event at Centennial Plaza? Did you realize it was a graduation
That you
party?
know whose graduation party that was?
You're younger.
It was the younger one,
Yes.
Anastasia, who, by the way, is graduating from
No
the
way.
Ohio State University. I'm looking at this
It's
camera
been
and
that
this camera.
long? I know,
The
right?
Ohio
Look at
State
that. Look
University.
at your close up. Tell
Yes,
them.
she's graduating from the Ohio State
Wow.
University on a Mother's Day. On Mother's Day, so I'm gonna have all these tears, and
What a
it's just
gift.
it's phenomenal. She is a graphic designer. She's in the visual communication design
Love that.
program. She just got recognized for one of her research projects, and she's just doing amazing work. We went to see one of her exhibits, and I'm just super proud of both of them. But I want to give a shout out to Avery, who is up and she is making the edits, but also to Anastasia, who I hope is up because she's a
Okay.
college student,
Okay,
and
yes.
so I hope she's up. But to what she's doing, because both of them just so amazing in their own right.
I I have I mean, meeting your daughters over the years, I was like, how do you do this? Because parenting is challenging.
It's hard.
It is
Woo!
hard.
Yeah, you
They're
want to.
such wonderful young ladies. And I was like, how did they do this? I mean, I've always been amazed. And I mean, I know no child is perfect, and my
Mhm,
kids are wonderful too. I mean, I look at
mhm,
my kids and I feel so blessed and so fortunate. And maybe I know the behind the scenes of my own kids. So
mhm.
there's days where I'm like, man, why did they do that? Right. I'm
Yeah.
sure you've had those days
We
as
do that
well.
as parents. We go, "Really?
Right.
We gonna do we really doing this today?"
Really?
Yeah.
You really doing
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah. But to have them turn out to be so successful and to do the things that they're doing and now to be, involved in your campaign and your family overall, I think is absolutely
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah. They are. And you know what? I gotta give a shout out to my husband, who
Mhm.
is
He
phenomenal,
is awesome.
and we operate as a duo team,
Yes.
pow pow. And I think for them, they look at us and go, "Okay, look at our parents." But
Yeah.
we are always pouring into them,
Mhm.
because we know that that's important, and we had our parents pour into us. So this is
Awesome.
just continuing that process, and they both know that at the end of the day we got their back. It doesn't matter. You can call about anything. And
Yeah.
I remember telling them, we both remember telling them again about knowing who they are.
Yes.
But what was also amazing is that we started to always say my kids were our tests. We tested on them. They're the pilots.
Right?
But being their coach, and I remember telling them, we're coaching you. We're your
Yes.
parents, but we're also serving as your coaches. And because they were both athletes, they understood that concept of coaching and
Mhm.
us telling them things and saying, "Hey, we're telling you this because we're trying to look out for you and
Right.
we're trying to help you navigate this thing called life."
Yeah.
And so for them, they sometimes, they listen, but and for the most part, they do
Yeah.
listen. They do. They think
They
about
still
it.
do. I like
They
that.
still do. And they think about what we're saying, and at the same time, I see them relaying sometimes those same messages to their friends and in
Mm.
their circles. But that's really what it is. It's about coaching. And even when I'm in education right now, and I work with students, high school students,
Mhm.
it's always about coaching.
Wow.
And and I tell them this all the time, when I'm in the schools. I always say, it's all opportunity, no obligation.
Mm.
All opportunity. So you can listen to what I'm saying,
Wow.
or not, but at some point you're gonna circle back around and see me. And so for many of
Wow.
them, because there's that respect, at some point they come back around and go, "Coach Allison, I respect what you're saying. I see it,
Mm.
and I know you see me." And so we managed to meet in the middle and make that thing work.
I love that. I love it's all opportunity. You said
Not obligation.
it's
So
not
but
obligation.
all opportunity. And that's what I think we all strive to do, is we are pouring into our young professionals, which is what I call them. They're young professionals.
I like that.
And something we always told our girls when they were in school, from the time they were babies and going to preschool, we say, "Mommy and daddy are going to work,
Uh-huh.
and we're going to work. And so if we're going to go to work and you're going to work, if we have to leave our job to come see you on your job,
Mm.
that's
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be a
that's gonna
problem.
be a problem." And so when I tell our young professionals who are in high school right now, when I see them, I say, "Oh, we're at work today." It
Uh-huh.
is so funny because they're like, I'm not at work. I'm not making any money." I said, "Well, actually, you're earning dividends right now, because
Uh-huh.
all of the information your teachers and the educators are giving you, all those things are nuggets that you're gonna use at some point in life. So it's just amazing because it's just a different switch on it. And I think because we're trying to get them to think differently, it also feeds into how students engage
Yes.
in schools and them wanting to come to school and them understanding the why
Yeah.
they need to be there. So just a different terminology, but it's about getting them there.
I absolutely love that because that is life, right?
Mhm.
Nothing, you don't have to do anything.
No.
It's not an obligation. Now you may be hungry and you may not have a place to stay if you don't do certain things, right?
Yeah.
But it's all opportunity here that we have. I think that's a wonderful statement. It's funny because when I was a kid, my mom freed me from homework. Now this may sound bad, but this was still good parenting, right? My mom said, "You never have to do homework again.
Ah,
It's up to you."
yeah.
She said, but so are the consequences.
Yep.
And she said, so if you get a detention, if you get in trouble, I'm not helping you.
All opportunity.
It's
no
all
opportunity,
opportunity.
no
It's your-
obligation.
no
Yeah,
obligation.
if you don't want to, that's on
You don't have to do it.
Mhm.
And it's really funny because I stopped doing homework. But, whatever. You know what I mean? I know I do a lot of homework because
Yeah.
I'm an entrepreneur. I do it all the
Mhm.
time. But I remember I got one detention
Mhm.
and I was at Hartford. I got a detention and I had to walk home from school. My mom was like, again, she was at work.
Yeah.
She was
I guess you're walking home.
I
right?
guess you're walking home. And I lived by Nemasilla Park. So to me, it was like, that was a long walk. I was like, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
Shout out to my
Did you
guy,
learn? Did you
Frankie.
learn from that
Oh,
though?
I learned. Now, I also learned that Mr. G's has some fabulous wings, though, too.
Okay, that's a whole
I
nother
mean, because see what I'm
story.
saying? My
That
guy,
you made
Frankie,
a
was like,
detour.
let's stop. He was in detention. It was normal. He was like, it's nothing. We're going to be all right? And he said, we're going to stop by Mr. G's. And I'm like, this is I don't know why I never had. I didn't know. It was life changing, though. But
Mhm.
anyway, but yes, I learned. And now it's funny because I learned it now. I tell my kids, I'm like, I'm doing homework right now. Like
Mhm.
you do your homework or don't do your homework. I mean, I had kind of a same mindset. Like, don't come home with terrible grades. My mom was kind of like, you
Mhm.
better do your best,
Yes.
right? But I have this drive now, though. Also, she also told me about hard work. She also said, if you don't work, you don't eat.
Yes.
And so you have to work hard. My dad worked in a steel mill. He worked for the Timken Company, right?
Mhm.
I say this around the country. So I say a steel mill because I assume everybody doesn't know the Timken Company. But here,
Yeah.
obviously, you guys know what the Timken Company is. He worked in a steel mill in the pickle house. It was rough.
Wait, you said the what house?
The pickle house?
I didn't. My grandpa worked for Timken, and my uncle worked for Timken. The pickle house. What's the
It was the heart of the steel mill. I remember they had
Wow.
like a take your kids to work day. I don't know why they did this.
Mhm.
It was like scared straight. It was hot,
Oh.
dusty. There's acid popping. I'm like, I never want to do this. This is horrible.
Oh no.
I think it was scared straight program. I don't know. But we went there. But my dad went to prison when I was 11 or 12. And I remember I worked my first job and I went home and I complained to my mom, like, oh, it was so hard. I'm so tired.
Mm.
And she said, if you don't work, you don't eat. And she said, your dad worked swing shifts at the Timken Company and he didn't love it, but that's what he did to take care of his family. And that's what a man does. You do what you have to do what you want to do. You handle your business. And those lessons stuck with me. And I'm such a hard worker now because while my dad was in prison, my mom was able to reflect on who he was as a man. And while he had made a mistake that landed him in prison, it didn't define who he was as a person. And his work ethic carried me through so much because now I always think I'll work circles around people. I know that I'll be successful. I live by a quote that says, successful people do things that unsuccessful people are not willing to do.
Mhm.
Success. I taught that
I
to my
actually
kids.
know what that means. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Right?
It
You're
does.
willing to go the extra mile. When I'm climbing the mountain and things are getting hard, and shout out to my guy Gino Haynes, we were just having this conversation. I'm climbing by myself, but I'm realizing no one else is willing to climb past this hurdle. That was hard. Setting up a studio was hard. Figuring out how to run a live show is hard. Things going wrong while you're running a live show is hard. But I'm willing to go through it because successful people do things that unsuccessful people are not willing to do.
Yeah.
You know?
And we have to be willing to do the hard things.
Yes.
I mean, because life is hard.
Yeah.
And so being able to persevere, to push through and to say, and to be resilient
Yes.
also on that, to say,
Yes.
I'm going to do this. I know it's going to be hard. I'm going to push through, which for me, running for office,
That's gotta be.
yeah, there are a lot of things there, but the thing is that it's about being resilient. And
Yeah.
I can't tell our young people when I'm out talking to students and families and I'm out in the community, I can't say one thing to somebody else
Right.
and then do something different.
Right.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't
I'm,
work.
right,
I
I'm
go for it.
authentic. I need to be authentic and true to who I am. And so this working hard is something that's how I grew up, similar to you. It's about working hard. It's about making sure that when you do things, you do them well, you perform to excellence.
Mhm.
And sometimes we trip, we fumble, but at the same time, that's when you get up and you say, let's keep going again. And at the same time, it's also, when I tell people things, this is what I'm going to do, I try to do those things. And if I can't do it, then I'm going to tell you that I can't do it.
Yeah.
And so those are the things that I grew up on. And this notion of communication is also a real big thing for me. And that's something that we tell our daughters all the time. We don't put a lot of emphasis on that communication, but it is so important being able to communicate with people and to just let them know where you are. And if you can't get this in, then let them know, because people want to know. 9 times out of 10, they're going to give you a break on it, but you have to
Yes.
communicate. So I talk a lot about that with our young people as well, the importance of that communication.
I absolutely love that. As we think about these things, ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to throw your questions in the chat. So when you guys see me go here, this is me looking at you guys as the audience, because I'm checking the computer, looking over at your comments, and I'm looking here. So she's my guest.
He's
You're
doing
my
a
guest.
lot. You're doing, yeah, he's got
Doing
all
a
of this
lot.
covered. Trust me.
This is
It's
how
all
I
covered.
started. So I wanted to go, I have a wonderful team, and shout out to them. To bring them out at 7:30 in the morning every day is kind of a lot. You know what I mean? It's a
Yes.
lot to ask
Yes.
people. So, we'll figure it out. But I started like this. Obviously, I was just in my basement. I had one camera, and I was
I
just,
remember this. I remember you doing this.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You were on my show
I remember
before.
way
We did
back
done this
when.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
You were
now
so much younger.
I was
Now
a
it's,
little bit, you were just a toddler.
yeah.
You were just a wee baby back in
Yeah.
the day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, I love this. So let me get to our comments. Good morning, Miss Lori. Miss Lori also has. We were talking about our parents,
Mm-hmm.
and she comes from a great legacy. Her mom was something that meant so much to her and her
Yeah.
her daughters. And her daughters are on my team. Shout out to Tiff and Danny. Lori raised some wonderful children. I was saying you raised some wonderful children. Well, she raised some wonderful
Yeah.
children too. And I'm so grateful for all that she did to raise those wonderful girls. Shout out to our guys at Blackout Meals. Feel free to drop us something off. We are down here at 309 Court Avenue Northwest, downtown. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
What are
Come
they
holler at
cooking
me.
today?
I know. What's up? What's up? Can we get a bomb
Yeah,
drop?
I've heard about that.
Have
Yeah.
you had them
I know I haven't. I saw
yet? Oh,
somebody else eating
come
it.
on, my
I
man.
heard somebody
Listen.
else eating it. And I was like, how can I get a menu or know what's on the
It's
menu?
a super secret thing.
I know.
All
That's
right,
why I
it's
want to
like,
know.
yeah, that's the whole point, I think. But my man, what's up? You gotta hook her up.
I need
She's
to know
here.
what's on
You
the
need to
menu.
know. I
Yeah,
mean, she's running for office. She needs her energy.
I do.
Sure,
Yes.
what's up? Sure, what's up? Good morning, Mandy. What's up, Mandy Hennon Williams in Texas, coming to us. It's
Oh,
it's it's
wow.
warm here, Mandy. You can come on home. You can come back. Come check us out here. She moved away. Trying to stay warm. What about Krista's platform? Yes. All right. Yes. What's your platform? All right. So everybody wants to know
Mm.
let's hear about our platform. What's your platform? First of all, that's a political term, right?
It
Most people
is.
don't look at people and
Yeah.
be like, what's your platform? They'd be like, Facebook. They'd be like, I don't know what is a platform, right?
Yeah.
So as you think about your platform as what you stand for, and
Hmm.
you got some materials for
I
me,
do.
I'm gonna hold on to that.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
gonna
keep
keep
that.
that. But no, talk to us a little bit about your platform. What do you stand on? I suppose a
Mhm.
platform might be. The people want to know.
Okay. And you know what? You do have this in front of you.
Yes.
So I want to make sure when you look at this, you know what you're looking at as well.
Okay.
So a lot of times we use that term. Thank you so much. Who asked that question?
Thomas West and my aunt Gloria.
Thomas West and Aunt Gloria. Okay.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
all right. So let's talk a little bit about platform. A lot of people use that term platform, and then they use it on the motion of what do you stand for? And they use it and they say, oh, it's for politicians. Now, let's just be really clear. I'm a public servant.
Mm.
Okay. So let's just start there.
Okay. Okay. That's
Um,
different than a politician.
well, I just don't think of myself
I
as a
see. I
politician.
see.
I think about myself as
Yeah.
being a public servant, serving the community. It is
Mm-hmm.
what I've done. It's what I always will do. It's what I continue to do.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get to the level and you start talking about platform, for me, it's not a platform. It's who I am. It's
Okay.
about how I work, how I educate, how I support the community. So while according to the political world, and when you're running for office, you have to have what you stand for.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are out there. So when you look at, for me, it's really about education and making sure that we have not only equitable funding, but we're funding our schools equitably, that we have safe schools, that we're basically providing resources to our teachers. We're supporting our schools, giving them the funding that they need. Right now, we have funding that they don't have. We have funding that are going out to vouchers, and schools aren't receiving the services and the supports and the funding that they need to operate. We need to make sure that we equal that level of playing ground. While we understand that, school choice is out there, we understand that vouchers are out there. The notion is we still need to fund our public schools, and we need to make sure that that's equitable all the way around. So that's something. And as an educator, that cuts deep for me because I'm in the schools. I'm talking with our educators. And when I say educators, it's not just our classroom teachers. It's our bus drivers. It's our cafeteria workers. It's our custodians. It's our administrators, because they all have a role in loving and pouring into our children, which is that next generation and that legacy. So that's one area. The other area is our economy. And that's an area that I focus on as well. And I'm currently working on and thinking about how is it that we are creating an environment and an economy for our next generation. We have jobs out there, right?
Yes.
That people may or may not know about, or trying to figure out, are they qualified to even have these jobs? But part of the thing is we have to have an economy where, one, our kids want to not only stay here, but they want to live and thrive, and our families want to live and thrive. A lot of conversations happen around the dinner table. People just want to go on vacation.
Yeah.
They want to go to a movie.
They want a simple life.
They
just
want a
wanna
simple
not be
life.
stressed out
They
all the
want,
time.
right, and
Broke.
broke, right,
Yeah.
and they want to just enjoy their family. And right now, people are struggling with that. And so this economy piece, this touches everybody in every facet area. When I talk to some of our younger people, they're saying, you know what, I want to live here. I want to come to Stark County, but I need to find out, are there jobs here? Can I afford the housing here? They want to be here, but the question is we need to get them here. We need to make sure that they stay here. I think when you and I were growing up, you talked about your dad working for Timken. I remember my parents, and where my mom worked at a bank, and then she worked for healthcare, and my dad worked for the gas company. I mean, we had we had that middle class, let's just say, and it was really strong. And people they went to work, they went to the church, they enjoyed their weekends, and so we're missing some of that, and we're missing that industry so that people can come back. And we do have industries here, but we want to continue to build that industry and that economy so that we can continue to thrive. And there are resources and things at the state level that we can actually tap into that I believe we're not tapping into. The other aspect here for me is our seniors. As people age, we want people to age with dignity. We want them to be able to stay in their homes. We want them to be able to afford their health care. And what are we doing in that area? And part of what I do is, as I'm talking to some of our seniors, helping them figure out how to navigate to get those resources. That's really important as an aspect as well. The other aspect, and I'm waving my hand here to get the lights on, is when we look at like our first responders. As you may know, Lucas, my father-in-law, is a retired police officer. And so maintaining this notion of how are we helping our first responders? How are we supporting them with the resources that they need? And not just resources in terms of the equipment, but also the resources from their mental health perspective so that they have everything that they need as well. So those are some of the areas that when we talk about platform, those are the areas, some of the areas. But here's the thing. All of these different areas, platform, if we use that term, these are areas that I'm currently working on and working with others on in our community. So for me, it's not a platform. These are areas of our community that I have relationships with individuals on. These are areas in our community that I'm working on. These are areas where, as I say, I'm living them out loud. This is part of my life. This is what I do in the community. This is when we talk about providing wraparound supports for families, when we talk about bringing mental health services into our schools for our students and our families, we talk about homelessness and how are we working in those areas to make sure that people have homes. When we talk about areas of support that people need, these are areas that this is what I'm doing. This is that work. And it's not a platform for me. This is about life. This is about me and my life and what I believe in and how I can pour into our community. And so running for office for me is really about that next level in terms of taking what I'm currently doing here in our community and then taking that to a state level and bringing those resources back, making sure that there's a communication loop, like I said, from Columbus to here, making sure that the needs of our community are being met, making sure that people are actually heard. I spend a lot of my time when I'm talking about these areas and I'm working on these areas, whether it's working with a board, whether it's asking those questions like, I'm wondering if we can do this, it's also about listening to people. And so a lot of times when I'm asking questions is because I'm hearing people within the community say, hey, where are we at with this? How are we improving these areas? Maybe we can think about things differently. And then because I'm just thankful to God that He's given me a platform to be in spaces
Yeah.
so that I can bring that information back to people and to those that are in rooms and in spaces where maybe other people can't be in. That's what being that legislative person is all about.
Yeah.
And so being in Columbus to be able to do this at another level is what I'm desiring to do, what I'm hoping that everyone will see that
Yeah.
that I am in that position and best
Right.
seated to do, because again, those relationships are important. So I've spent decades building relationships, not just at the state level, but locally within our community. And the things that you see on my website, the things that you might see that are posted, these are things that I'm currently doing. And like I just shared with someone else, and I just mentioned to all of you, this is my life out loud. And this is me doing that. When I knock on doors, for
Yeah.
example, because you knock on doors and you talk to people,
Uh-huh.
it is so interesting because someone said, well, wait a minute, when you're knocking on doors and people are telling you about issues, I said, oh yeah, I will literally get on the phone and say, okay, well, or I'll get back to that
You did
person.
that to me today. I was asking
Yeah.
you questions.
Yeah.
You said, you know what? I'm going to reach out to somebody because I want
Yeah.
to tell you this specifically from this I'm like,
Yeah.
using your resources to connect to people who are already in position and people who know. That's different. Most people just give you some rhetoric and they're like, la, 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 la,
No.
and they move on.
Yeah, so this isn't, yeah, and that's what I mean, I find in my team that we laugh about it because they're like, okay, what is she? But that's what I'm doing. I'm saying, okay, let me connect you with this. I mean,
Yeah.
real true thing. I was talking to a person about childcare,
Mhm.
and they were trying to figure out how to navigate childcare. I was like, I know someone, and I'm going to call them. And so I texted that person. I asked the individual for their phone number,
Mhm.
got back to them, gave them the resources, told them how to find the resources here in the community, and basically how to navigate through that. But that's who I am,
Yeah.
being that collaborator, that connector, that relationship builder. So in everything that I'm doing and the things, like I said, I have listed on the webpage and on our website, on our socials, this is not a campaign promise for me. These aren't things that I will do, because that's what you sometimes hear. And this is why I said I'm not a politician. These
Uh-huh.
aren't things that I will do as a public servant, as a person who's already doing this work. This is work that I am already doing now. This is me making the connections within our community, using those relationships, those trusted relationships that I've built over the years,
Mhm.
and really helping not only organizations, but people navigate to get to the resources and the services that they need. That's my job. That's what I guess as my daughters would say, that's what I've been built for. I'm built for this.
Right. I love
This
that.
is what I've been built to do.
Yes.
And that's why being in Columbus, I believe that I can be that advocate for our community in a totally different way and represent us in a way that represents us well.
Yeah.
It's not just about representing us, but
Right.
it's representing us well.
So to that point about representing us well,
hmm
you are one of the nicest people I know. You always have been.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I don't know if nice wins in Columbus though, Krista.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm not saying it does or doesn't.
Mhm.
I'm just saying people are tough.
Mhm.
It's a dog eat dog world, they say, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
how does faith-based kind Krista go to Columbus and advocate for my community? Maybe I need Top Dog. Maybe I need a pit bull. I don't know. I'm scared of Top Dog commercials,
Yeah.
by the way. I don't know who Top Dog is, but he
Yeah.
scares me. I don't want to hear any more Top Dog
Mhm.
commercials. How do you convince people that it's not, because I think what happens is you knock on someone's door, you meet people, and they're like, "This lady is wonderful." And I think most people wouldn't say, "Well, I don't think she can do the job."
Mhm.
But to anyone out there who may be second guessing and saying, "We need people fighting for our community. We need people hard nosed down there pushing and yelling and standing on the floor." I don't know if it's like that,
Mhm.
standing on the floor in the Senate in the House and
Mhm.
causing a ruckus. Like, what do you say about who you are, how you are, and how it translates into change and impact back to our local
Yeah.
community?
It's a great question because that's what people sometimes confuse niceness
Oh,
and kindness
oh,
sometimes for
yes.
weakness. Yeah, don't get that twisted.
Oof.
Because you can be kind, you can be nice, but that doesn't mean you're weak.
Mm.
And I think sometimes in our spaces in our world, we look at things and we think that the person who's the meanest, the person who's the loudest is the person that is always going to win. And you know what? That's not how things get done. Over the course of my career, in order to move things, you have to know how to talk to people in the right way.
Mm.
You have to know how to meet people in spaces where they are and to show common ground, to say, this is how we're going to get things done. You also have to be willing to keep your promises and to keep your word. And so those relationships, those are built over trust and time. And so can I go in a room and have a conversation with somebody and say, you know what, I agree, but I disagree with where you are? I don't have to fight with them on it, but I can say, I agree with you or I don't agree with you. And guess what? We can meet in the middle, because at the end of the day, we all got a common ground we got to get to. And so I know how to do that really well. Over the course of my years in doing work, not only in this community, but at the state level, there have been systems that I've had to create in spaces where it hasn't always been so kind.
Yeah.
And the job is get it done.
Yeah,
And I'm
right.
like, all right, so how am I going to get it done? Well, I got to be creative, and I have to know how to strategically go and talk with people. I need to strategically bring people in the room that might not all see eye to eye, and then help them see that in order for us to all get a win, some of us are going to get little wins, but some of us are going to get big wins. But at the end of the day, we're all going to get wins. How do we do that together? And so you talk about people saying, I need a fighter. That is a fighter.
Okay.
But it's fighting not in the way that people, in their minds might think the
Yeah.
fight is. It's fighting in a way that is strategic.
Right.
It's fighting in a way that is thoughtful. It is fighting in a way that tells people we can win together. And at the end of the day, that's what people want. And it's also looking and seeing what people want to get out of it and helping them see that. So I think because I'm very strategic in that way.
Yes.
I think because I am very thoughtful and really looking at the issues and asking the questions that sometimes aren't asked. And I'm also, like I said, I'm built for this. Being willing to continue to work and to do the work and to put the work in and to show people that, yeah, we're going to keep working. We might not have gotten this, but guess what? We're working on this. And the other thing is I'm pretty relentless.
I like that.
It's not about, oh, I'm tired. I don't got time to be tired. We can do that when it's all said and done. But being relentless and knowing that this is about my community. This is where I was born and raised. This is what we're doing here. It's about bringing things back home. So that's the fight. I think I shared with you that I'm in the arena always. I'm always in the arena. You may not see it in different spaces because, you might not see me operating, but I'm in the arena operating in all times. And part of being in the arena means strategic, being relentless, and making sure that always you're fighting for what's best for the community. I ask that question all the time. What's best for the community? What's best for kids? What's best for families? And that is the central driver. So what I'm thankful for with my faith is that I don't have to operate like everybody else does. Remember, I can operate in this space and be totally successful in that way, and probably even more successful because it's about a bigger picture. It's not just that one big win. It's a lot bigger than what people sometimes think things are. So am I a fighter?
No.
Absolutely.
I love it. I appreciate that perspective because I'm a very nice person, but I am not playing.
No.
I'm not playing with nobody. I'm just not playing. Like I come from the inner city. I have a toughness. I'm not playing. So I do understand that taking kindness for a weakness. And it's funny because last year was a year where I tested the boundaries of who I was tougher with people. And I found some boundaries. I found some lines where it's like, I don't want to go there. Some friendships, relationships, some things where it's like, maybe I shouldn't have said all that. Maybe I didn't have to be that hard because sometimes people are so harsh or hard that you end up breaking the thing.
Yes.
I say that sometimes happens in parenting where we're so focused on holding on to our kids and making them something. We're trying to mold them until we break the clay. We mess them up somehow, right? So, but one of the things that I think people can take for granted is a person who's, I choose to be nice. I always say I'm playing nice in the movie. Inside, stop playing with me. I'm playing nice in this movie.
Yeah.
My choice to interact with the person is I choose kindness. It is the grace that God gives. God could shut this whole thing down right now.
Amen.
He could be like, I don't have to play with y'all. We can
Right.
just I could shut you down one at a time if I want to.
Yeah.
End it for you, end it for you, end it for
Yes.
you. I could shut
Well,
the
he
whole
did
thing
do that,
down.
and he did do
He
that.
showed me he would do that.
There are some Bible stories about
There's
that.
some Bible stories about that. He just shut you down or shut down everybody or whatever. Those things are possible. But choosing to be kind does not make you weak and doesn't make you incapable of fighting for others on behalf of your community. There was a question asked, and thank you guys for your comments. Hey, Miss Jackie Scott, Lisa Smith, what's going on? Hello. Thank you guys for being here. Thomas West asked, what do you need help with to win. So for those who are supporters, those who care, those who want to be out
Thank
there,
you.
shout
Thank
out to
you. Thank
Thomas
you,
West.
Mr. Thomas West, for that question.
Yes.
Well, how much time do we
Not
have?
we got about 10 minutes left,
All
but
right.
let's
All
use
right.
2 or 3.
So here's the thing.
Mhm.
I need people to spread the word
Yes.
that Krista Allison is all in for all people.
Mhm.
And how you can help with that is I call it 9 and me. You tell 9 other people about Krista Allison. My superintendent, she
I
gave this
love
to
it.
me. She's my mentor. She said, tell people 9 and me. So you tell 9 other people, because we all got about 9 friends, or at least 9 people we call friends, right?
Associated with, yeah.
Associates. Tell 9 people about me. Tell them about Krista Allison and that she's all in for all people. And then you tell those 9 people to tell 9 other people. You see, we are a people-powered campaign. I think we forgot that how we do this is about people. It's about everybody else. It's while I'm here, this is all of us doing this together. It's not just me. And so you tell those 9 people. So I really need people to spread the word, and I need people to come out and vote.
Yeah.
Early voting has started now. I'm looking right in this camera.
Tell 'em, I didn't
I need you to
realize
come
that.
out and vote. The primary is May 5th. And to advance to the general, we have to win the primary.
Mhm.
And a lot of people go, well, my vote doesn't count.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't think it counts. And
We got a song about
we got
that.
a song about that. Yeah.
Yes.
So I love you to play it. But
Yes.
it does count. But I need you to come out and vote. I need you to tell people about Krista Allison. Obviously, if you can donate $5, yeah, this campaign is people powered. So the
Yeah.
things that we print, the things that we put out, if you have $5, you got $1, we would be willing and so grateful and thankful for that donation. The other thing is we need people, in addition to that, if you have time on our website, you can sign up. Whether it's you want to help us canvas by knocking on doors. Some people don't want to do that. Some people say, hey, I'd rather just write a postcard, Krista, or, Krista, get me a yard sign. Those are the things that we need. And the thing is the clock is ticking. This election is now. It is not in November. It is now. And I say that really really strategically and on purpose to everyone, because I know sometimes we think, oh, I can wait till November. No, it's May. It's now. And so I need you to tell your friends, share, like, send all of our socials out, comment on those socials. But what's most important is the vote. People have to come out to vote. If we want to see that change that we all know that we can be, and we want to see those things happen in our community, you have to vote. And voting for me is a vote of confidence to say, I know that Krista Allison, she can get that done. She's already created the relationships at the state level, at our local level, at our city level. She can do those things. She has the confidence of not only our mayor here, Mayor Scheer has endorsed me, as well as our Congresswoman Sykes, because they see the importance of the relationships. They have the trust in me as well. They understand, as I started earlier, that legislators have to communicate at a federal level. They have to communicate at a local level as well. And so those relationships help those things continue. And because they're already strengthened, they're already built, it makes it easy. You also want to know that I am ready day one. This isn't about what I will do. This is about what I'm already doing. So that's why I said this is not the campaign of what I will do. This is a campaign promise of what I'm already doing. So me being able to go in and start day one already happens. Those relationships have been established. They've been built. And me being able to go in and represent our community well is what I intend to do. So those are the things you can do. You can donate your time. You can donate financially resources. But at the end of the day, and you can spread the word, but at the end of the day, I need you to vote. And I need you to vote Krista L. Allison, all in for all people.
Krista, absolutely incredible. Thomas West, thank you so much for the question. I didn't realize early voting had started.
Yes.
And so for someone to early vote, where do they go and what do they do?
They can go to the Board of Elections, so they can do that. Some people have requested absentee ballots already. I believe you can still request those. But here's what you need to know about the absentee ballot. No longer is it that grace period where you can send in after the election has closed. Your absentee
Before
ballot.
it was like, as long as it was postmarked.
Yeah. That,
Before I remember Corey Minor Smith, shout out to her for bringing that to our attention. So it's not, it has to be in their hand.
it has to be in May 5th,
It better be
basically.
to them, not
Yeah.
leaving your house.
Not at your house.
postmarked.
May 5th by 7:30, whenever those polls close, it needs to be there. And that's, again, we have things, laws and rules that get changed, and we don't even know about it.
You're right.
Right?
Right.
And so, again, that's that communication piece. That's that transparency piece. That's being accountable. And that's what I want to bring to this position, the transparency, the communication, the accountability. So Board of Elections, please do that. Go right to the Board of Elections. They have extended their hours as it gets closer. May 5th is the primary date. If you have an absentee ballot, get that thing turned in because you want that to count as well. For folks who say, you know what, I want to register to vote. Here's the thing. Voter registration has closed for the May primary, but you can still register to vote.
And
you should
because there's
November, right? So
we
we need you to register to vote.
Right.
And the thing is that there are folks who are counting on you not to register. There are folks that are counting on you not to vote.
Wow.
Because remember, I said the struggle for freedom is won and lost in every generation. There are folks who are counting on people not to vote, to not to have their voice being heard. But you know this, your voice matters, your vote matters. And I know you have something that I sent you that we want to help people understand.
Yes. I love that. And shout out to Mark Bixby, you said,
Mark
who was
Bixby, yes.
behind this track.
Yes.
We're going to play this song for you guys, and we can talk a little bit as it plays, talking about the right to vote, talking about the fact that we often think our vote doesn't count. And it's really funny because right before you sent me this song and I was listening to it and I was thinking about interviewing you, I was thinking one of the things I want to ask her is people don't think their vote counts.
It does.
It's complicated. It's convoluted. The national election versus a local election. How does this stuff play out? How does this stuff work? I think we often see it as very complicated. We're going to play this song here for you guys. It's called 80%. Is that right? Is that what it is?
It is 80%.
We're going to turn this up a little bit.
Vote doesn't count. So let me shift your thinking just a little. Picture your vote like a pie, a slice to one slice, 20%. That's the presidential election every 4 years.
We're dropping songs live.
Electoral
Okay.
college maps,
Drop your
math, a
track.
system that feels distant like a lesson you have. Remember from schoolhouse cartoons, but the rest is 80%. 80% of your power lies right here in your state, your county, your city. No filters, no middlemen, just votes. And the truth is simple, the one with the most votes wins. That's it. So don't tell me your vote doesn't count when 80% of it is waiting for you to use it. We are not powerless, we are holding power in our hands every single day. So what will you do with it? Will you let it fall between the cracks of doubt and disingenuous? Or will you plant it like a seed of change? Because change is not magic, it's math, and math needs numbers. It needs voices, it needs you. We have one life, one voice, one vote.
Right on time. Our lights are, we'll get it back on.
Yeah.
Beautiful song. Beautiful, beautiful song. Shout out to Mark Bixby.
Mark helped create that.
Yeah.
So I was doing a spoken word event. So the Canton Creative Meetup. You probably know those individuals, right?
Shout out to them.
Yes,
Shout out
they were
to
wonderful.
Creative Meetup. Shout out to
Juanita and Miracle.
Juanita, Miracle, and Danny for hosting.
yes.
It was amazing.
Yeah, so it was phenomenal. They were at Cade's place
Yeah.
at District 111.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, can we do something to just tell people that they need to get out and vote? They need to make sure they're registered. They need to make sure that they early vote. And Kay was like, yeah, sure. She goes, the meetup's going to be here. We're doing a spoken word. And I said, hey, I just want to do like a PSA, a public service announcement. I just want to make sure people know that their voice counts. And so just got together and started writing some things down. I said, hey, can I actually do a spoken word? And they were like, you want to do that? I said, I've never done it. So why not? Let me try it. It's always a first, right?
Right.
So I went up and I did that and got to Mark and said, hey, what could we do with this? And it was really about making sure people understand that their voice and their vote matters, that we don't want to be silenced, because a lot of times when you're talking to people, when I talk to people, they say my vote doesn't count. And I said, how can we put this in an analogy piece so that people recognize that their vote, their voice counts, and when they don't vote at all, it cancels everything out. So I said, let's picture it like a pie. You like pie, right?
I love it.
Or it could be a pizza or a slice of cake, right?
Yes.
So, and again, I'm not trying to do this in all math. It's not scientific that I'm doing, but I'm just something to put it on the ground for people. So you take that 20% out, right? And you say, okay, that's that presidential election. That's that 4 years, electoral college. We get that. We understand why you're saying that. But then that other 80 is really about our state, our city, our local, And that's a popular vote. And so you voting actually really does matter. You voting on things that matter here in your hometown, where you live, play, and work. Those things matter. And so
Yes.
you have to get out and vote, because if you don't, and you don't know who's representing your interests, what are we doing here?
Yes.
So that's where what kind of was the inspiration of the 80%, that
Beautiful.
people have to recognize that it counts on so much of a bigger level.
Yeah.
And so getting out to vote, early vote really matters. I'm looking right at the camera
Let them
because I
know one more
want
time. We're going to wrap
early
this
vote.
show up. We are at our time. I want to thank you guys for all of our audience members, everybody
Yeah.
who's watching, everybody who was live, who stayed with us. You might have been getting ready for work. You might have been doing something else, but you listened in like a podcast. That's great. It is a podcast. Or you watched and you commented. We thank you for that. Share this again with your audience. Share Krista. Tell them about him. Share that. You can also not just share this episode on your social media platform. I mean, do that. Share it to your feed. But also you could hit share and send it directly to people you know. We're also going to be putting out clips as early as today from today's episode, so you guys will be able to share some of those snippets as well. Make sure you watch those all the way through and like them. The longer you watch a short form video clip or a show on social media, the more it gets pushed out to more people. So you might watch a clip and think, I got the point, and you scroll away. Well, when it's somebody you want to support, as I've done with yours, I watch it all the way to the end. I might have got the point in the first 30 seconds, but I'm like, no, I need to watch it till the end, because that tells the algorithm that I valued it and that others will value it, and it sends it out to more people. So make sure you guys do that when you guys see the clips. Krista, one last message to the people in 1 minute or less. What should people know about Krista L. Allison and why they should vote for you?
Vote Krista L. Allison. She is all in for all people. She desires to have those relationships and bring the resources back to our community. All in for all people. Vote Allison. Thank you, Lucas.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so much.
Krista. We appreciate having you here today. We are excited about Lucas Live Season 6. Thank you so much for being my first
Thank
guest
you.
in Season
Thank you. It was
6.
great. Thank
So
you.
tomorrow we have Dr. Reverend Walter J. Arrington. I always want to joke and say
Oh, yeah.
Martin Luther. 40 years at People's Baptist Church here in Canton, Ohio, making an impact and making a difference. So excited to have him. We have Mike Sturdivant on Wednesday with Rock Island Specialists doing marketing and so many other things. On Thursday, we have your host, Danny of Lucas Live Media, here with me in studio. She's often here in studio, but she's going to be here getting interviewed. Excited about that. And on Friday, we have Shahidra Strong from Strong Family Wellness talking about the Strong Family Wellness Weekend coming up this weekend. So many great things going on there. The Wellness Fair, you don't want to miss it. So many great things coming out. So many great things going on. Thank you guys so much for being here with us on another episode of Lucas Live. You guys have a great day.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.